She's the daughter of a powerful billionaire. He's a bricklayer living in a run-down neighborhood. Two worlds that were never meant to collide, until a chance encounter sets off a chain of surprises waiting to be uncovered. Join us as we uncover the hidden truths behind their real identities. Backhand index pointing right. If you love emotional stories full of twists and surprises, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss what comes next. Adana Ease, the only daughter of the Ease family, a powerful dynasty led by Nigeria's oil tycoon, had just returned from the U.S. after earning her degree in sociology from Harvard. She was tall, with smooth, rich brown skin like finely carved mahogany, and deep, intelligent eyes that radiated strength. But what truly set her apart from the silk-wrapped elite was her open heart and compassion. Today, instead of just reviewing reports, Adana decided to visit the construction site of a new elementary school being built with funds from the Ease Foundation. She wore a simple cream-colored linen dress and flat shoes, understated, yet effortlessly elegant. No bodyguards accompanied her, only a young assistant walking by her side. Adana looked around, frowning at the dust and noise. Adana, this place feels more alive than I expected. Maybe I've gotten too used to air-conditioned rooms and spotless blueprints. Her assistant looked uneasy, eyeing the laborers hard at work under the scorching sun. Assistant, lady, maybe we should just take a quick look? It's so hot and dusty out here. Adana didn't answer. She walked straight in. Just then, a voice shouted out, "Careful, the floor's still wet." Too late. Her foot slipped on a plank slick with wet cement. She lost her balance. In that split second, a strong arm reached out and caught her. She fell into firm arms. A young man in a worn tank top, sweat dripping down his back, with deep, honest eyes, held her with both hands. Adana catching her breath. "I thank you." The laborer nodded, his voice calm. "Worker, it's okay. You should be more careful around a site like this." Adana straightened her dress, but her eyes stayed on the man. "Adana, what's your name?" He hesitated, then replied, "Worker, Chuka. I'm one of the bricklayers here. And you are?" Adana gave a soft smile. Adana, I'm just curious." Chuka had no idea she was the daughter of the man funding the entire project. And for the first time, Adana met someone whose eyes didn't see her status or wealth, only her. In the days that followed, Adana began returning to the construction site more and more often. She claimed it was to supervise progress, but no one failed to notice how her eyes always lingered in one place, on Chuka. Each time she appeared, he was lifting bricks, mixing mortar, or wearing his scratched safety helmet. Amid the sweat and noise, only he could make her stop and watch, just a little longer. One quiet afternoon, Adana arrived with a small food basket she had prepared herself. She walked toward the workers' break area. Adana, placing the basket on the wooden table. "I brought some snacks and fruit. Hope it tastes all right." The atmosphere lit up instantly. The workers gathered, whispering with surprise. But Chuka stayed still. He wiped his hands on an old rag and stepped forward. Chuka, smiling. Not every day a billionaire's daughter brings lunch to a bricklayer. Adana, lightly. "Well, you're the first bricklayer who made me want to." They sat on the steps together, eating with their hands like everyone else. The evening breeze carried the scent of dust, lime, and something warmer. "Chuka, I don't know much about your world, but I imagine there's a lot less dust." Adana, "My world has air conditioning, marble halls, and $5 lattes. But no one there looks at me with eyes as honest as yours." Chuka stayed quiet. Something stirred inside him, part joy, part fear. He knew the gap between them wasn't just social. It was built deep, like a wall. That evening, in the opulent Ease mansion, Dinner was served with fine European cuisine beneath imported Italian chandeliers. Adana remained silent, her gaze distant. Chief Ease. Adana, I heard you've been visiting the construction site a lot? What for? You've graduated. It's time to start thinking about succession. Adana, coldly. You want me to run an oil empire, but I want to understand how people actually live. Wealth isn't only measured in shares, Dad. Mrs. Amaka. We have a duty to help the community, darling, but not to live like them. Chief Ease, raising an eyebrow. Don't tell me you're interested in someone down there? That's unacceptable. Adana said nothing, but her eyes, calm, unwavering, were all the answer he needed. The next day, Chuka was hoisting a cement sack when he heard someone call from behind. Adana, breathless. I need to talk. Not here. Come with me. They went to a small park on the outskirts of the city. Quiet, anonymous. Adana, are you afraid? When the whole world says we don't belong together. Chuka, staring into the distance. I'm not afraid, but I know it won't be easy. They'll see me as a gold digger. They'll see you as someone who betrayed her class. Adana, then let them talk. I don't care. But I need to know, do you have the courage to walk this path with me? He was silent for a long moment. Then he nodded. Chuka, if you're willing to step down from your throne, I'll lay the ground beneath your feet. Rumors travel faster than kitchen smoke in Lagos. Despite Adana's attempts to keep things private, a photo of her sitting beside Chuka in the park suddenly went viral on social media. The top tabloid splashed a bold headline across its front page. Billionaire's daughter dating a bricklayer. Fairy tale romance or high-class scandal? That night, the Ease mansion was anything but calm. The echo of Chief Ease's leather shoes hitting the marble floor sounded like war drums. He slammed the newspaper onto the table, his voice shaking with rage. Chief Ease. What is this, Adana? The entire country is gossiping about your filthy relationship. Adana, calmly, looking him in the eye. There's nothing filthy about loving a good man. Mrs. Amaka, her mother, worried. Sweetheart, you're destroying the family's name. So many noble families have made proposals, and you chose a bricklayer. Adana, softly. Because he has the heart and integrity those noble names don't. Chief Ease's fists clenched. His eyes burned. Chief Ease, through gritted teeth. If you see that man one more time, I'll freeze your accounts, cancel your cards, even strip you of the Ease name. Adana, firmly. If that name is just a golden cage, I'm ready to return it. The room fell silent. Mrs. Amaka burst into tears. Chief Ease slammed his hand down on the table with a thunderous bang. The next day, Chuka received a strange call, inviting him to a luxury hotel. When he walked into the room, the man waiting for him was none other than Chief Ease. Chief Ease, voice low and threatening. Let's cut to the point. How much? 100 million naira? 2. Just walk away from my daughter. Chuka said nothing. He pulled an old cloth from his pocket, wiped his hands, still marked by cement, then looked the most powerful man in Nigeria straight in the eye. Chuka, you think I love your daughter for her money? Chief Ease, cold laugh. If not money, then what? Hoping to live in my mansion? Sit in my office? Marry into power? Chuka, I love her because she's nothing like you. The air froze. They locked eyes. One man who could ruin a life with a single call, and another with nothing in his hands but the truth. Chuka, quietly rising. I won't take your money. But if you force her to choose, I'll walk away. I won't be the reason she gets hurt. He left the room, as Chief Ease clenched his coffee cup until it shattered in his hand. That night, Adana found Chuka in his small, tin-roofed workers' lodge, damp but neatly kept. She pushed open the door and saw him packing his belongings. Adana, voice trembling. Where are you going? Chuka, turning away. I don't want you sacrificing everything for someone like me. Adana, stepping forward, grabbing his hand. If you leave, you're just like them, thinking I'm just some rich girl who can't live without her father's money. Chuka, looking at her, choked up. Adana, I don't want our love turned into a story of pity. Adana, then let me prove. This love is strong enough to stand against anything. Adana left the mansion on a moonless night. No one knew where she went, not even her mother. Kemi, her loyal assistant, left only a single note on Mrs. Amaka's bed. I'm not leaving out of anger. I'm leaving to live honestly. Chuka's apartment was tucked away deep within the slums, near the old harbor. The air reeked of sewage, arguments echoed from tin houses, children cried, and broken radios blared distorted music. Yet in a small corner of this chaos, Adana knelt on a cement floor, spreading out a thin cloth and carefully wiping dust from second-hand bowls Chuka had bought at the street market. Chuka, awkwardly. I didn't think you'd really stay. This place doesn't suit you. Adana, looking up with a smile. I don't need a place that suits me. I need a place with you. The room had only a single, dim light bulb hanging from tangled wires. But that first night, when they shared white rice and boiled greens, it was the sweetest meal either of them had ever tasted. Chuka, grinning as he ate. So, rich girls really can eat with their hands, huh? Adana, playfully serious. As long as you don't eat with pride, any hand will do. In the days that followed, Adana volunteered at a community learning center, teaching poor children English and life skills. Chuka continued working construction. Every night, they came home, sat on the porch, and talked about their day, about dreams, about a little house with a red-tiled roof, built with his own hands. One day, Chuka took her to a piece of abandoned land at the city's edge, a spot he had long imagined building on. Chuka, pointing to the lot. I always thought, if I ever had someone to share life with, this is where I'd start. Adana, grabbing his hand. Then let's start together. But peace never stays long. One afternoon, just as they returned from the market, they saw a black luxury car parked in front of the slum. A man in a black suit waited outside. Mr. Afalabi, legal representative for E's Group. Mr. Afalabi. Miss Adana, I'm here on behalf of your family. This is your final warning. If you don't return, your inheritance will be transferred to a trust, and may never be restored. Chuka, stepping in. So they're punishing a woman for daring to love? Mr. Afalabi, mocking. You call this love? Who do you think you are? A stray brick hoping to belong in a palace. Adana, angrily. If that palace is built on pride and control, I'd rather live in a shack filled with freedom. That night, a storm rolled in. Rain slammed against the tin roof, leaking through a corner. Chuka sat awake, watching Adana sleep, her face exhausted, yet peaceful. He stood up quietly, slipped outside into the cold, wet night. I can't let her keep sacrificing. I have to do something, he whispered to himself. Days later, Chuka began working double shifts, his regular job by day, and construction for a private contractor at night. He nearly collapsed from exhaustion. But every coin he earned, he saved, to build her a home. With his own hands. Chuka, murmuring as he mixed cement. I can't give her a throne, but I'll give her a foundation that will never crumble. One late afternoon, as Chuka and Adana were rearranging their tiny kitchen, a man appeared at the doorway, holding an old, faded photo. Stranger, are you Chuka, son of Musa Okoye? They froze. Chuka stood still, breath caught in his chest. That name, Musa Okoye, he had only heard whispered by his mother before she passed. Chuka, barely audible. My father? The man stood in the doorway, soaked from the rain, bathed in the soft light of dusk. His eyes held the weight of a lifetime. "Man, my name is Obinna. I was once the assistant to architect Musa Okoye. Your father, Chuka." The room fell silent. Only the gentle dripping of rain on the tin roof could be heard. Adana sat frozen, while Chuka's legs nearly gave out beneath him. "Chuka," voice trembling. "I don't have a father. My mother only ever said, 'He disappeared.'" "Obinna." "No. Musa never abandoned you." He was silenced. 20 years ago, Musa Okoye was one of Nigeria's top architects. He had been hired by Chief Ease to design the Grand Ease Hill Mansion, the ultimate symbol of the Ease family's power. During construction, Musa uncovered evidence that Ease had embezzled government funds to finance the estate. Obinna, his voice low. He was going to expose it. But before he could publish his findings, Musa vanished in a car accident. His body was never found. Adana gripped Chuka's hand, her voice shaking. "Adana, you mean your father was murdered?" "By mine." Obinna nodded slowly. "Obinna, your mother fled Lagos with you. She never said a word to protect you both. I searched for years, until I saw your faces in the news." Chuka collapsed to his knees. Fragmented memories rushed back, his mother crying at night, moving from place to place, unanswered questions. All of it now fit into a terrible truth. "Chuka," barely a whisper. "Your father killed mine. How can we ever love each other, Adana?" Adana, through tears, never letting go of his hand. "Because we're not them. We are who we choose to be." Days later, Obinna returned with an old wooden box. Inside was an original unpublished blueprint, the first design for Ease Hill Mansion. At the corner of the page, a handwritten note read, "Justice delayed is not justice buried." At the same time, a journalist Adana had worked with during university came to hear their story. He was stunned. "Journalist. If this is real, we're not just talking about one man's corruption. This is a whole web of power behind Ease Group." Leaks began spreading. One headline went viral. "Disinherited heiress, bricklayer with blood of justice, the truth behind Musa Okoye." Chief Ease was summoned by Nigeria's Financial Investigation Board. Former allies abandoned him. The company's stock plummeted. Then, when everyone thought Ease would deny everything, he personally came to the slum where Chuka lived. No guards. No pride. Just a broken man in a wrinkled shirt and tired eyes. "Chief Ease," his voice hoarse. "It was me. I did everything to bury the truth. But I never thought love would be the thing that brought it all back." Chuka, quietly. "I don't need your apology. I just need you to understand. Power can't cover up the truth forever." Chief Ease turned to Adana. "Chief Ease, you may despise me, but you loved the right man. He carries Musa's blood, the only man I ever truly respected." On the same patch of land where Chuka once dreamed of building a home, a new project had begun. A community school, named the Musa Okoye Learning Center, designed using Musa's original blueprint. Adana stood beside Chuka, fingers laced with his. "Chuka," softly, "are you sure? The road ahead won't be easy." "Adana, I don't want easy. I want to walk it with you." 1 year later, in Chuka's mother's village, wedding drums echoed through the air. Chuka, now a certified architect, stood proudly in the village courtyard, dressed in a white agbada, waiting for the woman who had walked through every storm with him. Adana appeared, radiant in traditional attire, welcomed by the villagers not as a billionaire's daughter, but as one of their own, a woman walking toward the man she had chosen, heart first. Just as the ceremony reached its peak, Chief Ease arrived unexpectedly. No longer the imposing tycoon, he was simply a father, stepping forward quietly and bowing his head before Chuka. "Chief Ease," voice trembling, "I was wrong. And if you'll accept, Today I offer you my daughter, not with power, but with respect." That night, under the moonlight, Adana sat beside Chuka. Her hand gently rested on her stomach. Adana, whispering, "We'll need a small room soon, for someone new." Chuka froze, then held her tightly. Their love had been built, not with mansion bricks, but with sacrifice, loyalty, and unwavering belief. Sparkles, what did you think of this story? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to read your thoughts. Open Book, there's another incredible story coming soon, so don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know. Thumbs up like the story. Give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, because good stories deserve to be told.